welcome back to the channel and to Flames of War. So today we'll be going over the formations in the Berlin Soviet book and a look at one of the command card formations as well. So basically did this for the Belgian British, just a bit of fun building some lists and trying out how to fit in the new stuff into your lists. This time I'm doing 100 points rather than 120. I do prefer 120 points, but I know a lot of you play 100 and sometimes even smaller, or maybe even bigger than 120, but I think 100 is a good round number to go from. So bear with me, we'll go through all the new formations and basically what I've built from them, and we'll also have a look at the unit cards for some of the new units as well, and hopefully some of your newer players can build some of your new collections around this, or existing players going into Soviets. It wasn't that long ago that I basically started my Soviet journey. I do wish they had a 21 box of the new Emchas, but it is what it is. 21 would have been a perfect number for me. But here we go. We'll go in order that it is in the app, so it probably won't be the same order as it is in the book. But let's have a look at see how my 100 point lists shape up. Okay, everyone, here's our first formation. It is the Hero M4 Sherman Late Tank Battalion. So if you played Soviets before, they're tank battalions. They're called battalions, not companies. They're mixed as either hero or regular. So hero, you tend to have much better skill rating. There's a lot smaller units and they cost a little bit more. But there you go. So basically, so this is the 75. Slightly better than a T-34 76. Anti-tank is better, firepower is better, armor's better. It's got a good remount as well on the 3+, and plenty of stuff in the formation as well. So I've got a unit of 76s in there as well as some mortars, and you've got your Red Banner SMG company. So these are careful Soviets. And we have flamethrowers as well with them to help with Duggan infantry. And in support with some armoured cars for Spearhead, we have 4 M10s, so for 18 points for 4, not bad. Just keeping that 80-12 ticking over in this list. And then we've also got the 160mm mortar, so a really good artillery unit to bring along as well. For the command cards, you've got to make your own luck. So if you've not seen this before, basically you discard it before you reroll to automatically get a 4+. And then we also have the RPG 6 anti-tank grenades. 3 points, you can have Panzerfaust limited 2, but these are just as good. You just can't use them in defensive fire, that is all. Okay, so basically this is just the 76mm version of the Hero M4 Sherman. So basically I've just stacked it full of 76mm Shermans. Also got their M17 anti-aircraft platoon, so I'm gonna have to buy a pack of them now because I don't have any. And same again, the 6 82mm mortars and the Red Banner SMG company. But difference with support this time, I've also got a rifle company as well. So again, no Panzerfaust, but I've given them an extra machine gun and flamethrowers, and both units will have RPG 6 grenades. I like to have 2 infantry units so you can mix them up onto different objectives, and they're Red Banner as well, so they're careful, which is nice for the Soviets. We'll go over their stats a little bit later. But overall 80-12 across the board. Basically 2 of these units are going to have to go in reserve, but it still leaves you with 76, 5 of them starting. That's if there's reserves with them. So next formation. Okay, so next is, I like this formation. It's the forward detachment, but the M4 Sherman. So basically this is what your starter set for the Berlin Soviets is. But we have a 76mm as a HQ. We have 2 units of 76mm Shermans with the Hero Guards Motor Rifle Company. So these are aggressive, but I have given them Panzerfaust and an extra MG. They hit on 2s and assault, so not too bad at all. You also have your integrated self-propelled artillery and mortars in this unit as well. And in support, I've got my Spearhead unit, and to keep up, since I think of it as obviously your vanguard unit, something fast to keep up with them. So we got 5 T-34 85s and make your own luck. So basically The Shermans can go in reserve. T-34s can push up, so 80-12 again across the board. So I like the forward detachment. It's a nice, fully integrated formation, I think. Next is the T-34 forward detachment. So this was actually a command card in the progression book, but because things can have Panzerfaust now, they've added it again. So I got T-34 85s. You can have the mixed platoon, but I'd rather 85 since the 76s are overworked, 89 and 4 plus. I'd rather the 80-12. So again, we've got the Su-76s for artillery and 3 mortars, and this time we've switched it around with the support. We have the 76mm Sherman supporting them rather than the T-34s. I suppose you could use the T-34s, free up a few more points, but again, we've got the spearhead, and we've also got make your own luck as well. Okay, so as mentioned, these are not the hero formations, the Shermans. You tend to have a much bigger unit, so heroes are limited. Max is 4 in a unit. These guns can go up to 10, but it will cost you points, as you can see. So I've got one massively stacked unit of Shermans, 76s, just to beef up the AT-12, and 42 points is a good amount to go in reserve. And if you think about it, they could be coming in from a flank, so flank shots or AT-12, it's going to be pretty deadly. But yeah, you've got plenty of 75mm Shermans to soak up some shots, and the AT-10 can do some damage, especially to your armoured infantry formations or scout cars that you might be up against. You've also got your Hero Guards SMG company involved as well with flamethrowers, and then you've got your spearhead and RPG-6 grenades. And in formation, the only artillery we have on the board is the 6 82mm mortars. Doesn't seem much, but if they do range in, they are re-rolling their hits because there's 6 of them, so you can afford to lose one more before you end up just being a regular mortar unit. It's just their skill rating trying to range and will let them down. Okay, so basically the similar formation, but the 76mm Shermans. So we have one unit I've stacked up with 8, and basically with them we're going to have the Pavel Voronin card as well. So let's see if we can get him out. So 4-point upgrade, you can go into a M4 Sherman 76 tank company or a hero one if you wanted to. So basically this unit may reroll fail skill or tactic test to make blitz movement orders. So these guys' skill are not great, so useful, although I probably wouldn't even bother trying to do skill checks with these. But the unit leader may reroll all fail rolls to hit each time he shoots with a 76mm gun. So that's not bad. So you've got 8 guns firing on the move with one of them re-rolling, so that's not a bad card. And the main reason I've taken it is it's 4 points, but it does sneak that unit over 40 points. So for a 100-point list, a good reserve unit to have. This still is 76mm. I've added some Valentines in because if we're going to go Lend-Lease, let's have some British Lend-Lease in there as well. And 2 of them are going to have 6-pounders, so that's 80-10 again as well. Got our mortars, Hero Guards SMG company. We also have our scout cars and make your own luck again. Okay, so now we're on to the heavy stuff, the IS-2 late. So they've increased their front armor, and they can have bed spring armor now, which is pretty cool. You get to basically ignore stuff with 5+ firepower on a roll-off. Formation sizes with these ones are going to be a bit smaller, since as you can see they're a bit more expensive. Idea again, probably the unit of 4 in the HQ can go in reserve, leaving you with just 3 IS-2s to start. You do have 2 infantry companies, 160mm mortars again, and the scout cars. The only problem with these guys, they are only one shot, even stationary, and if you do move in, they are slow firing. But the AT-14 with a 2+ firepower, so if you do manage to hit something, you should be killing it. Okay, and now we have the Hero IS-2 Guards Heavy Tank Regiment. So basically, these guys are careful, which is always quite interesting for Soviet stuff. So obviously more expensive again. Couldn't afford the bed springs with these guys. And then you still got your Red Banner infantry as well. I've had to have Hero Guards Motor Rifle Company. Couldn't afford it again. And these guys have got RPG-6 grenades. For reserves for these guys, It's probably going to be a bit more tricky because you're going to have to put a fair bit in. Maybe you can put some infantry in as well if you wanted to. But hopefully you won't have to if you go for attack stance. Okay, on to the infantry. So here we have the Hero Guards Motor Rifle Battalion. So basically the same as we've been seeing in the other books, but obviously they can have Panzerfausts now, which I've actually decided to give them. Well, they're rifle teams anyway, and they can also have Shermans in the formation. But I like the motor rifle battalions because you can have your infantry, your anti-tank, your artillery, your spearhead, and your armor in one formation. So there's a lot for your opponent to chew through. In support as well, we have our M10s, and I couldn't quite fit 4 T-34s with 85mm, so we've got the hero unit of 2 and 2. So I suppose you can always fob off your hits onto the 76s to save your 85s, but decent enough formation. But just remember, they're all aggressive in this one, but still very fun to play, and you've got plenty of boots on the ground, and the Panzerfausts in your rifle units are going to be quite interesting. Okay, and here we have the Red Banner Infantry Regiment. So these guys are careful. I've gone for a little bit mix on the infantry. So we have a rifle company, a storm group, and an SMG company here. I couldn't afford the Panzerfausts, but I did pack them with 3 lots of RPG-6 grenades. We have the mortar unit, and we also have the 203mm howitzer in formation. There's only 2 of them, but they pack a wallop. And also I quite like the Red Banner Assault Tank Company. So that's 2 T-34-85s and ISU 152s. So it's a nice lump of a unit to go along with your formation, and 5 M4 Sherman 76s. Next, quite an interesting formation. So we have Hero Recce. So these guys are all careful as well. Not the biggest infantry units, but I've worked with smaller, with the Africa Rifle platoons, but quite mobile, can get onto an objective in certain missions. So you got I've got one unit, so I got a HQ with German half tracks. I also have a platoon with German half tracks, and then another platoon with the M3 scout cars. They all have Panzerfaust, so they can keep up a fight. I then also have one small unit of just foot sloggers, but that's just to anchor the formation a bit. They also have mortars and hero scout cars, so also careful. And in the formation as well, you have 4 T-34-85s. And for the unit that doesn't have Panzerfaust, I've given them RPG-6 grenades. And in support, we have a good solid lump of 8 T-34-85s. So I suppose you can fit another unit in if you have to have stuff in reserve. But overall, quite an interesting list to play. Probably be similar-ish to playing a scout car formation, but obviously you've got a lot of infantry as well. But they are quite decent infantry as well, and packed with Panzerfaust, they can hold their own as well if they have to. Okay, so the last one for the book is probably a really tricky one to use because they're so bloody expensive. You've got the Hero Engineer Sapper Battalion, so the only way I could see to work them is to have one massively overloaded company with then a smaller one. And I've got some IS-2s with bed spring as well. But they are careful, and they've also got their fancy little smoke pots, and they're already equipped with Panzerfaust. It's just it's just not a lot to cover you. So in support, I got scout cars again for spearhead, 160mm mortars, and 4 hero Sherman 76mm tanks. Not sure how it would work. There's not overly a lot of board coverage there, but again, I think it'd probably be a fun list to play. Probably annoying to play against because you're not going to be wanting to assault these guys any time soon. And because it's a free upgrade, you can really kit these teams up however you like. You can give them 82mm mortars, flamethrowers, HMGs, probably leave the PTRDs since they've already got Panzerfaust, but interesting looking list, I think. Okay, so returning again, we have the Cossack Regiment, but it's Red Banner, so it's similar to the other ones. You just got the careful infantry you're filling in with, and obviously they're upgraded to cavalry for 2 points, I believe, off the top of my head. So a decent little mobile infantry unit, other than the little scout unit that we've just seen. But lots of people, I suppose, run your Cossack regiments, and you dying to probably run them as careful infantry. So have fun with this one. Okay, so stat time now. So this is just the hero M4 Sherman. So you can see they're still aggressive. They do have front 7, making them slightly better than the T-34. They are slower with a worse cross rating, but their gun is better than the 76 T-34 with a better firepower. They've also got a better remount as well, and you've got the standard skill rating that you'll find with the heroes, so trained with a tactics of 3+, but it's their motivation of the remount which makes them slightly better than your hero T-34s. Okay, so the hero 76 Sherman, so basically slightly different stats to the 75, because you've got not one step back with a 3+, so it's nice to see with the hero ones. And again, the only difference is the AT-12. It doesn't have high explosives, but like the other one, it does have 50 cals as well, so again, an improvement over the T-34. So these are the more regular units. So as you can see, the stats are slightly different. So they're so they're green on the 5+, but you do have your not one step back 3+ rating. But other than that, it's the same tank as the hero variants. And here's the 76mm, again the same stats. I'm not 100% sure that they're not one step back on the hero version of the 76 is correct, because you don't tend to have it on the hero units, but maybe if they do eventually get around to doing an FAQ, that might be covered there. Okay, so this is the IS-2 late, front armor 11 now. So good motivation, so 4+ confident. They also a good counterattack and last stand. Just let's hope they don't get bailed out, because it's only 50-50. But then a good skill rating on 3+. Again, slightly slow but a good cross rating, and a good brutal gun but slow firing. And then the bed spring armor, basically, if you fail a shot that hits your side armor, a weapon with 5+ or 6, if you roll a 5+, you ignore the hit. And this is after you fail the save as well, so pretty nice. Okay, so this is the Hero Guards Heavy Tank Company version. So as you can see, it's careful, which is scary for an IS-2. Fearless, 3+, with a 2+ counterattack. So not bad at all, basically, stat-wise. It's just a lot of points you're paying for it, but front 11 tank with AT-14, you are going to be paying big points for that one. So now we have the Red Banner SMG company. So as you can see, the big one, careful on the 4+. Same as the normal SMG companies, they're confident with a 3+ if the commissar is still alive, with a 3+ veteran, and the assault on a 2+. The other big difference is, as you can see, the optional Panzerfaust anti-tank. So it is assault 3+, limited to slow fire. Okay, so something I haven't used before, we have the Red Banner Storm Group. So there's a mixture of quite a few teams, fairly useful teams, and you can add a few extra stuff in as well. And again, like the SMG company, they have an assault 2+. To note as well, the Storm Group are also fearless, and like the Red Banner Rifle Company, which is the same as the SMG, so they're confident with a 3+ from their commissar, and their skill 3+, so they don't hit on 2s in assault. But again, they're careful and can be given Panzerfausts as well. So we have the support artillery units now, and actually these guys can be in the Red Banner formation as well. So we have the 203mm artillery battery, so it is hit on the 3 with a 4+ save. But it's more the gun we're looking at. So basically, as artillery and anti-tank 4 with a 2+ firepower, so nice. They are trained though, so that could let them down a bit, but if they end up firing direct fire, it's only 16-inch range, but it's an AT-13 auto firepower, which is something that Jimmy always likes. Okay, so now we have the Emily's a Lend-Lease M10. So overall, not bad stats. They're careful, fearless, which is always good for your tank hunters. It's better than the British ones who confident, who when they end up getting hit, they always never get back in. And they're also 3+ veteran as well, which is better than the British M10s as well. So you can probably manage to do blitzes with these guys. And there you go, your regular stats for your M10s with your 80-12, but 18 points for 4, not bad at all, really, for your tank hunters. Okay, so not actually used in any of my formations that you've seen, but we also have the Su-76 in the hero version, so they're careful, but the main thing you probably want to take them for is them being veteran, so obviously a lot more likely to range in, but you can only have a unit of 3, so you lose 1 and you're losing your artillery bonus, so you're going to have to re-roll your hits, and they're a bit more pricey than the other ones as well. Okay, so something you saw quite a lot in my lists, the 160mm mortar, so very cheap, so 6 points for 4, giving you a 2+ firepower artillery template with a good range. Anti-tank is what you'd expect for a mortar. 4+ save ain't great, and again trained, but very cheap artillery unit. And again, 2+ firepower is probably why I'm taking it more than anything. And the final one, the hero BA-64 armored car. So the only difference is it's fearless, veteran, and is careful. Probably wouldn't take it over the regular ones because it's a point more expensive. And to be honest, once these guys have deployed in the spearhead, I find them pretty useless. They never seem to do anything. And that's it. So I hope you enjoyed the video. If you like it, I'll probably do one for the Germans when they come out, and I'll probably do it a bit sooner after their release date than this one.